And guys, welcome back to the Ghosts of Our Past podcast with myself, Marvin Ambrosius.
Marsha Ambrosius.
And this is the Man on Fire and Tattoos episode. Now, first of all, hit that subscribe button, click the bell, make sure you were kept up and notified up to date to when the new episodes come out. But this episode, this is one of those ones I've been waiting to talk about.
Yeah.
It's been a part of my body. It's been on my body for over how many years now? Let me see if I get my maths. How many of you get my maths right? So like 20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
It's been on my body for 20 years now. I got this tattoo. Actually more, 23 years. Marsha was with me to get the tattoo, but I'll explain to you.
Oh yeah.
Yes, in
You were
catfish.
too young.
So we'll go through this now. So just to add some context, and I'm going to bring you back into that time. So, Man on Fire. I was 8 years old, in my bedroom, at normal day like any. And as usual, I was watching my Simpsons episodes at night. It was late, watching just the American Video VCR tapes and just looking at my posters in my room. And I felt this the corner of the room, just on the right-hand side, it's really dark. And that's where the back, where the window is really black, where we would hear the kids playing at night. And that window, I never really walked over
No
there.
looking out there. Yeah.
And that's why I was scared to go to the door at night sometimes, because I started to sleep with that door open because I didn't like the fear of going over with it closed. I know. So one day I felt and saw like a blue tint color, and I felt so still that if I wanted to move or run, I didn't have any capacity to do so. There was
sleep paralysis.
Yeah,
like where you're aware of what's going on, but you can't move.
Exactly.
Right.
But for the first time ever, I wasn't scared. I felt protected, and I felt like for the first time there was something that I was waiting to look at, that wanted me to see it, but wanted me to know that it's cool. Wow. It's so hard to describe, and it's so hard to try and get myself back there. But I slowly, it felt like it took 10 years. I looked to the right like that, homed in, and I saw a man on fire, but in blue flames. It looked just like the Watchmen, the character in the Watchmen, the blue guy in the Watchmen. I always forget his name. The graphic novel made it.
Yeah.
But it was blue flames, and it was running, running. But it looked like it was running 1,000 miles per hour, but in slow motion. Right? All right, don't stop. And then, as it's running, it's not saying anything. There's no sound. You could drop a pin. I'm feeling. I'm getting like you could drop a pin in the room, and you couldn't know any better to anybody what's going on. And I'm not freaking out. I'm just taking it in, and I'm feeling calm. And he literally ran straight through me. And I remember the feeling of going through and laying down, looking up at my ceiling, my blinds.
Yeah.
Behind me, my black blinds. You remember the black blinds?
Yeah,
Mark?
I can see it.
In the black blinds, and then seeing a blue light leave the blinds, and I fell asleep. Sorry, my voice.
Wow.
And I fell asleep, and I woke up that morning, and it was a beautiful day, like summer, lovely day. I put on my Chicago Bulls baseball suit Mum got me from the States.
Oh yeah. I can see it now.
Yeah.
We've definitely got a picture of that.
And I ran to Matthew's house, and we were just chilling and just had a great day. And I felt so calm, but I never spoke of it, never mentioned it. And from that point onwards, it took away some fear that I had of the house, because I felt like whatever I was afraid of, there was something there to protect me.
Wow.
And I don't know why it makes me quite emotional to get talking about, because I don't know what it was, but it gets me there. Like, I don't know why. I think it's just because I'm imagining like this kid, like just a kid being a kid, and like being my daughter's upstairs now, and I'd hate for her to see what I saw, but I'd also love to know that feeling of calm and stillness can happen to her, and feel that she's protected. But I'm hoping that I can be that protector for her.
Do you know what's crazy, Marv? Even you saying it, there are certain things that we're never going to be protected from. Yeah. And there's this otherworldly, supernatural force that if you're tapped in, you get to experience it. You're one of the chosen few that can harness in on an experience like that. And I'm getting emotional watching you talk about it, because I know that 8-year-old Marv. We've been like this, like twins from the very beginning. So the empathy level for either one of us is next level. Mum's a twin. We've got twins in our family. There's just this synergy and this connection that goes above and beyond the norm. So to kind of mirror your story before you go into the rest of it, I saw in your room what you described, just not a blue light, but someone in the corner of that room, and they're running at 1,000 miles an hour, like in the same place, no noise. The rest of the room is still, but I'm in your bed and I can't move, and I'm just looking at it. I don't remember it running through me. I don't remember it moving anywhere close to me other than the corner of that room. And I just closed my eyes because there was nothing else that I could do. There was no light. I could just make out the shape of it as you described, the Watchmen style, like kind of like Iceman, but in blue, like a Marvel superhero character.
Like most people say, it looks like Silver Surfer.
Yeah, Silver Surfer, exactly. Yeah. So it's like the wonder of it all was, who's going to believe me? Or who am I going to tell? Or how do I describe what this moment is? But there also was a wonder to it in a way where all the other creepy stuff, like I remember sleeping in, didn't used to happen in your bed, but definitely in my bed, where I'd be laying still and that sleep paralysis feeling that you described, where you can't move, but it would feel like someone was pushing me from underneath the mattress, almost like if a kid was hiding and they're playing with you, like, I'm here, and it would be little taps or little knocks, or where I would, it's creepy now.
That's creepy as hell. That's creepy.
But it was at the point where I didn't acknowledge it until later on in my life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't see it like that until way later on in my life.
But here's what's crazy. I don't remember what year I told you to when. Obviously, you got to remember, I got the tattoo at 17.
Yeah.
So this is years later. Yeah. So when did we have the conversation? Because here's going further into when I said. So basically, to add context, Allen Iverson was the biggest thing going in like 96, 97. Mm-hmm. He revolutionized tattoos in basketball. Mm-hmm. We all wanted a tattoo. I wanted a tattoo. So I went to get a tattoo. Didn't know what I was getting. You were with me. And we see this picture on the wall. We went through all these pictures. And both of us at the same time, I remember went, gasped. And I went, what are you looking at?
Why are you looking at? Right.
Yeah. And we both looked at it and we gasped. And I said, the man in blue flame. And you said, just take that, because it had a horn on his thing. And I said to him, can you do that tattoo without the horn on it? And I said, what is that anyway? Like he said, I don't know. It's just an illustration. That's what he said. It's just an illustration. I went, I want that. But you knew what it was. So I haven't.
And we never. So I don't know if we ever had a conversation.
I don't know. We just said it looked sick and moved on from there.
Wow.
Not really acknowledged the whole symbolism.
I'm really trying to get back to why we both. It was like understood though.
Yeah, it was
almost like that twin thing. Like you don't have to tell me. I know.
Yeah, but
you don't even have to repeat it. And I think maybe once you got it, maybe we then went into it and you was like, nah, I saw this when I was a kid. And Marv, me too. I know exactly what it is. No, this is meaningful. Do you know what it was? We probably had the discussion because we were trying to figure out how we tell mum and dad.
Yeah, because I was late for training after at Brixton.
Yeah, like how? Jimmy what are we gonna say?
Yeah, Jimmy going mad because I've got this God rest your soul, Jimmy. I've got like a band over my arm just to obviously cover it.
Right.
And I'm playing like, what have you got done? Everyone's like, you got a tattoo? I went, yeah, I've got a tattoo still. Like, yeah. And you're like some big man, like, yeah, I got a tattoo still. Yeah. My tiny arm, my tiny shoulder.
Yeah.
And fill it out now. And it's just funny because like you do that, you get it, but I don't know why cognitively and how me and you didn't connect in a way to talk about it. It was just kind of like, we got to get to training, and it was just that was it. That was it, Marsh. I don't remember speaking to you after about it.
No, nothing.
Don't remember talking to you about it.
Not a thing. But I know when we saw that picture, and it was how it was. Don't know. Can you show it in the camera a little bit, just so I can see?
I mean, you can see it. I don't think you can see it properly. Let me.
You can, but you can't. Okay, yeah, so like even when I look at it now, just how the action of it.
Just the exactly.
It was the action of it, and I was like, I know that. I've seen that. You identified it as in blue flames. I just saw it as a shadow. And like you said, I wasn't afraid. I literally just went to sleep. I closed my eyes like, I can't move. And I feel okay. It was because if it wasn't okay, I'd have ran after that. After I got out of the sleep paralysis state, I would have ran to mum. I'd have tried to leave. Because I think I was definitely old enough. I was definitely 11 when it happened to me, like 11 or 12. In 2A, I would have been 11 or 12. And I was old enough to go, you know what, I'm going to stay with mum, or I'm running up to my room, or I'm going. I think we probably only told each other because of our parents and how they were going to find out you got a tattoo. And then that's probably where dad got mad at you about getting it. Period. And then you had to explain why you got the tattoo.
Do you know what? You're right. It's the redirection of being a kid, having to speak and tell your parents and be held accountable to that.
Yeah.
So that took precedent over the whole fact of what I got.
Yeah,
so exactly. That was no longer important. What was
it was the fact that you got the tattoo.
The tattoo. It's like, wait a second, how are you legally allowed to get it? It's like, well, I got a tattoo. It was like, and that, I think that explanation and the fear of what would happen from what dad would say. I knew mum would say something, but I knew mum would be cool about it. But I knew dad was an anti-tattoo.
So shout outs to that tattoo parlor because they what would have happened was
Save a Centre. Was it Save a Centre at just past Catford?
Yeah, just past Catford when you're coming back up the hill, like you're going towards Crystal Palace. If you take that route, it's right there. I can't remember
the name of the place now.
I can see it though. I know exactly that bus route.
I worked in Save a Centre at Christmas for 2 weeks. Remember?
You were stocking shelves.
I stocked shelves for 2 weeks.
And then Blockbusters further down.
And then Blockbusters. I got fired from there. True story.
Yeah.
True story.
Marv, that was a dream job.
Here's the thing. The best person to ever give you movie advice in 1997 would have been me. And I got fired from that job because their computer system was whack.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
We're just going to blame it on that. But I think they let you get the tattoo because I probably told them that we were twins.
Yeah, you showed your ID. That's what you did.
And I would have had my Brit school or I think I did a certificate in marketing at Lewisham College for like a year or something. Wow. I don't even think I went to class. I just enrolled and was like, and I think I showed them that ID and that's how you got that tattoo. I was like, no, that's crazy. My twin.
You know, it's nuts. Do you remember how much your tattoos were that you got in Philly? What was the name of the tattoo place that I got the other tattoos done in Philadelphia?
At the Hawaiian spot, right on what's that street?
It's on off
between South and Bainbridge. Yeah, so right opposite what would have been Fluid.
Do you remember how much you paid for your tattoo? How nuts is this? That like I can't believe that. See, here's the joke, Marsh. My tattoo was £45. I've never forgotten that. But why do I know?
£45.
But it was £45. I remember going, oh man, it's £45, and
Yeah,
feeling
that's
like it was
enough.
like it was a lot. That was like
Money.
free Domino's pizzas. I equate everything with food and like chicken strippers and like garlic
What am I
bread
gonna
pizza.
do? No, a KFC Zinger Tower burger meal.
It's just like, how does that even work? And then I'm thinking, it's fire. It's like an amazing. Everyone was like, that tattoo's sick, and I was just like, and in my mind, I was thinking, it's not about it looking good.
I know
that's my protector.
I know what this is.
Yeah, that's my protector.
Oh my goodness.
And every single time since, though, what's crazy is I have never ever once said or shied away to say what it is.
Yeah, it's never. Like, if you want to hear what it is, then here it is, and people must be like, wow.
Yeah. People ask. I always say, oh, when I was a kid, I saw it in my bedroom, and I just say it blasé. And then I think I say it so blasé because it's not just a pattern of behavior of for years of saying it. It's because I feel okay to say it because it's protected me.
Yeah, and that's how Dad describes us telling him anything, or even Mum said, no, you very matter-of-factually recount what the experience was to a T, from the time of night it was to how you felt. It's a repeated pattern of, no, this happened, and I know it happened, and I know why it's here. So Dad then got to find out years later, I think after your tattoo.
This is like what, let's go further into the years now. Like I at this point have already met Steph now. So this is in like maybe like 22, 23. So we're looking at 2002. And then Dad obviously then has a work colleague. You tell the rest of the story, because to me I was like,
so I'm living in the States at that point, and once again Allen Iverson is the reigning king supreme, and I'm now a Sixers fan, and I've settled into Philadelphian lifestyle, and I'm calling home periodically. This is before iPhones and FaceTime. This was literally getting $10 calling cards with a 1-800 number to get through to you guys. Wow. So I remember calling Dad, and you know how Dad, when he wants to talk about something, he'd be like, Marvin, you know, and then I'm waiting, like, what's the story? What do you mean, Marvin, you know? So I'm like, come on, spill it. So he said he was at work, a work colleague that had come in to social services, and she was an American woman. He described her as an attractive American woman who was a parole officer of sorts that was working alongside with them. And she'd said to Dad, she was having issues with a relationship that she was in. I think she fancied Dad, really. She just wanted to. But at the end of the day, we don't care how we got the conversation. We just got the conversation. Yeah. So she asked Dad if she could confide in him. So, you know, Dad, sure.
All right, man.
Sure. So she goes on to say that her boyfriend at the time wasn't open-minded enough. He wouldn't listen to her about issues that she had when she was a kid, and she's trying to explain herself because it defines who she believes she is now, or she was then. So it was like, she was like, are you open-minded? So Dad's like, sure. So she says when she was a kid, she saw a man in blue flames.
And not just a man.
And
it was more than one.
Yeah, she saw numerous of this same thing described in the same way that we told our dad way back then, to the point where he's gone white as a ghost as she's telling him the story. And she said at the time it was difficult because, you know, her parents had separated and she was having anxiety, and she felt comforted by these blue beings. And Dad he was froze. He and she was like, oh, you probably don't believe me. He said, you have no idea.
I can imagine his reply to that as well.
You have no idea how much. Yeah, 1 second. Just give me
a second like that, just to get it all out. Just give me a second.
Oh, what was he doing? Hang on a bit.
Yeah.
you have no idea how much I actually believe you. So he said, yes, I believe you. And then I think I had the conversation with Dad before I spoke to you. So by the time I've gotten to you, and I was like,
Hype.
you know what, Marv? It needed to happen that way. Because there's nothing else that we could say.
He'd never be convinced.
We could tell him till whatever.
Yeah, he never would have believed me. He never did believe me until that moment. And what was funny, Dad never apologizes.
Oh, never.
He apologized to me. I remember saying to Steph, I was like, my dad just apologized to me. Like, like because he literally thought I was chatting crap for the last 5 years.
Because it had been years since we'd had to explain this tattoo. And it was, like you said, it was never about the tattoo. The story behind getting it was the actual story.
But as you've just said, remember, here's where it gets deeper. He's hearing information by a tattoo from 1997.
Yeah.
But I'm living with something that had happened nearly 10 years.
10 years. Yeah.
So for him not to believe me, it wasn't a case of not believing me because it wasn't about that. It was about the tattoo.
Right.
And then I explained to him at the time, I got this tattoo because of this. And he's obviously thinking, you've never mentioned this before. So he's like, you've never ever mentioned this before. So I understand the skepticism that came and was involved in it. But then when he told me what the woman said and the way she described the feeling of calmness and stillness, but again, how was I going to articulate that as a kid?
Right, you're 8. You're 8, already dealing with other stuff, because that was just that. How? There was no way we could have done it any other way. And I'm glad, by ways of an attractive parole officer at his office, told him matter-of-factually and didn't have to.
No.
It was a by chance conversation. This wasn't something, my son, when he didn't bring up nothing. This is a stranger that comes from a whole other place, an entire different time. Like, she's not your age. It's not like this was going on in the 80s or 90s. No, she's seeing these beings when she was a kid in another country, brought up another way, a whole other culture. You saw it when you were 8 in Camberwell.
Yeah.
So it's like he kind of had to believe, whether he wanted to or not. And I feel like what happens to Dad when he finds something out to be 100% true is there's this logical part of him that, because he can't control what that means, that's where he gets scared as a parent. It's like, I couldn't stop that if I wanted to. It's above me. Like, for Dad, he's number one. He's go-to. He is our savior. That's it. Like, he wants to be that in our life and always has been. But there were things that we were dealing with that took the reins a little bit, where Dad is a ghost. There's nothing, you can't go and hit him.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's something else. There's something else we're dealing with that you can't help this part. You can just see us through it. And that was a tough one to get through, and for me to see it in a different way, but still not be afraid, but very much debilitated and paralyzed by that experience. Like,
I can't
sleeping.
believe that today's the first time I'm hearing about it, because I think
I'll add something to it which terrified me a little bit, and only because my young mind was probably trying to rationalize it. Is I'm looking in that corner and it's just a shadow at that point, but because I can see it running in fast motion, I'm trying to make out the features, and it looked like Mum.
That's so... I don't... Why would I be more scared? But Marsh, wait.
Don't even do it to me.
Wait, Marsh, wait. Marsh,
don't.
You know what I'm gonna say.
Don't.
You know what What if... I wish you could see this.
Marv, my hands are clammy.
No, Marsh,
I'm sweating a little bit.
Wait, Marsh. What if, when Mum was astro flying, she was ending up in our bedrooms, making sure we were okay?
We were okay. Oh my God.
Sorry, like it. As you said it, That's why, like, literally, oh my
And
God.
you know what's crazy? I think I've been too nervous to tell you that part. Even when I'm saying it and I can see the whole
But it
thing.
makes sense. It makes complete sense.
It was mum that I could be, only because remember in the other episode where we were talking about describing features in clouds or listen,
Marsh, why does it? I'm looking at the face and everything.
Don't
right?
even, don't even do it. Don't even do it.
I'm starting to even like.
It will fuck me up, Marv. It will fuck me up. I'm telling you now, it will fuck me up. All the language, whatever for YouTube that we have to clip. This is not the kids, but it will fuck me up. It will.
But Marsh, it's logic. Like it's a logical explanation because the only thing that ever made me feel, and later on, years later, to when we were going to mum's bed.
I'm sweating, Mob, like top of my lip sweaty. I've just gone all clammy.
Holy moly. I am like, that just got me different, Marsh. Like,
sorry, no, I'm Marv.
But Marsh, I'm happy.
Yeah.
It makes me.
I said that in the other episode. I said, what if mum was astro flying? Remember when we couldn't get to her down that hallway, and then we described it as insidious? What if all of these other spirits could feel that she wasn't present there? So we're attracting a whole bunch of other stuff, and she's trying to get to us in some way where it was no, kids, just go to your room. Whatever I'm battling down here, you don't even want to see it. So don't even go down here, go back to your room. And you don't know how you got there. So mum could have got you back there. Mum could have told me, that's not me in that bathroom. Don't you even come over here. Oh my God, Marv.
God, my mouth's just open.
Hold on, I'm hot, Marvin. I'm so warm right now.
I need some water.
Jesus, oh.
All right, I wasn't expecting, this is exactly what this is. And do you know what, guys listening and everyone listening to this podcast, seriously, me and Marsh, we say what we're going to talk about, but we never discuss it. We just say what we're going to talk about and we let it fly into exactly what it is. But every single episode we have done so far, there has been a revelation. There has been moments like this where it doesn't only. I
low-key want to cry a little bit. Like, I don't know why. I know.
Like, sorry, Marsh.
No, I'm not sorry.
Earlier on, I had to hold on the story. Like
I'm not even holding on no more because I actually love what's happening.
Yeah. I do too, but don't make me cry. I don't want to cry.
I'm not. No, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Okay.
No, but you know I'm worse than you, so like don't even. No, I know. You know, once I start, the podcast is over
with. Yeah,
it's over. So don't even bother going in there because I'll get into the. I make noises when I cry.
Okay, so I see. Well, this one might make you cry a little bit, but not really, because it's still joyful. Because we're talking about Man on Fire and tattoos. So with your tattoo that you were able to get because your sister is 3 school years older than you, and you have that tattoo for life because of something that you saw when you were 8. Now, I know for sure, I didn't get a tattoo until after you. Yeah. My first one was in Philly, and it was the butterfly, which just symbolized, this is the butterfly that I saw. I saw it in the book and I was like, that's what I saw. Come to talk to me when I was 4 and tell me that everything is going to be okay. And years after that, I remember Nana didn't like tattoos. She was old fashioned when it came to that. She was like, I don't want you desecrating your body type thing. She was that.
She was also a magician's assistant. I have to throw that out there too.
Can we holler at Nana Bessie and her magicians?
Expelliarmus.
Expecto Patronum.
Exactly.
So years later, I would be in Philadelphia when I found out that Nana passed away. And I remember coming to Liverpool. This is right after the India Irie tour. And that's when she'd gotten sick. She was in the hospital. So the last time I saw her was when I'd just come off of that tour, the European leg of that tour, went back to Liverpool, and we kind of said our goodbyes a little bit without knowing it. Because she told me, she was like, Marsh, seen the light at the end of the tunnel, didn't I? That's all she said. And we laughed, and I can just remember rubbing her hand and stroking her arm. She had the softest skin on the planet.
Was that Hammersmith concert when I was wearing the LL Cool J green?
That would have been the last concert she's seen me on stage. So that's
a really good show.
So she came to that show, and that's when the microphones went off and all of that, and we didn't even care. We just went ham. Went to Europe. We did Paris. We did Switzerland. We did Germany. And then we came back, and then I was borrowing a friend's cell phone and just found out that Nana had gotten sick. So as soon as I got back to Catford on the bus, we went straight to Liverpool. So I saw Nana in hospital as we thought she was getting better. They said it was a heart attack, and now everything happened. Then it's bigger than a heart attack. There's a cancer that we didn't know that was there, and it's rapidly getting worse and worse. So I got back to Philly, and I got the phone call.
Cool, because you got the water. Yeah.
So remember, no one could get me on the phone. I've got heartbreaking voicemails from you, from Dad. It's like I had 6 messages before I could actually get through to someone. Of course, the first person I got through to was Mum, and been traumatized ever since. Never want to experience that phone call. So I remember having a tough time with that, and decided to get a tattoo in her honor. And all I could think in the back of my head is, she hated tattoos. And I was like, no, but this is something I want with me forever. I just want her forever. And I went into the same tattoo parlor. I got my butterfly in. The tattoo artist's name was Jackie Brown. She's from Cleveland.
Oh, Jackie Brown did my tattoo.
Yeah, so remember she had the black bangs, really goth, but really cool, amazingly cool person. And I seen the picture of the lion that I wanted. I said, I'm a Leo. I feel like it's strength, but I feel like it represents my grandmother in some way. So I want that, but I don't want you to trace it. I knew she was an extremely great artist, so I just want you to freehand it. So she freehands this lion for me, and I remember showing it off as soon as it was healed. I said, oh, do you see this? So Nayla, we were at a restaurant. We were at Budacon, our favorite in Philadelphia, at Budacon, and
shout out to Budacon.
So she was like, what's that face in the lion? I was like, it's a lion's face. She was like, no, there's a face in the lion's face. So I'm like, I have no clue what you're saying. What are you saying right now?
We'll take a picture and we'll make sure we superimpose it so people can see it.
If you see this lion, just looks like an unassuming little lion head. But if I do this, and here, if I take that out, it looks like an eye, nose, and a mouth. And it literally looks like the spitting image
of
my grandmother.
Sleeping.
As I saw her the last time I saw her. And when I finally saw it,
oh gosh, I'm like, whoa.
Was a wreck. In a good way. But I was like, I knew you was there. I knew you were there. Because when she passed, I was in my Philadelphia apartment that used to overlook the 5 spot on Market Street. So it's the one with the balcony. And I had the Pac-Man, the Miss Pac-Man table that I got right there. And I remember walking out and I was just crying, and this beaming, like almost too bright of a sunshine light coming through the window. And I'm looking, and it started to get misty. And I was like, oh, Nana, you know I'm not ready. I said, no, don't manifest. I said, be here and let me know that you're okay. But I think I turned around. I said, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I said, I feel you. And I know that you would come and tell me that everything was okay, but I'm not ready to see you. I said, not all the way. So that light and that mist just started to like disperse, and it went calm and still. And then I proceeded to cry and try and like throw stuff around the room because I was so angry that she'd gone. And it was in that moment, or moments after that, it was just like, still here. We're still here. They're all still here in some way. But the tattoos that we have to represent these experiences are above and beyond just your regular tattoo. And it was almost like I can put ourselves back in there in Catford and going through that book and seeing the man in blue flames, or what, it wasn't even the man in blue flames, it was just the closest liking to describing what we both seen without even having to tell each other. It's like, Marv, I know why you want this. That's him. Well, that's them. Whatever this thing was, that was it. And we need this to represent us. When I saw that lion, I don't know why I chose that lion. Jackie Brown could have did anything else as far as shading, as far as approach, anything. And I just let her go. And I just remember sitting there and she's scratching away. And at that point, I was enjoying the pain. And I look and I was like, I love it. And then everybody else saw it before I did.
Because you weren't meant to see it yet. But I'll tell you what came out of that situation. Reveal. But you know what came out of that situation and what song came out of that? Sometimes You Make Me Smile.
Sometimes You Make
I can't listen to Marsh.
The lump in my throat.
Yeah, can't. And just please explain to people, how many times have you performed that song, Marsh?
Oh, 0.
Exactly. 0. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that music is
Ooh, no, thinking about it. No.
I know. No. It's a stimulant of the soul. Music is a stimulant of the soul. And that particular song, when you sent it to me, I said, I low-key hate you for doing this song because listen, I can't
there's
function.
Magic in that song, because on the Flowology album, both Nat and myself put our grandmothers as silhouettes in the sleeve, in the artwork of that. And she'd lost her grandmother, and there's a synergy, like you said, within music that just does something else. And I take it seriously. I don't get how people can stand there during funerals and sing. And I'm like, it's above me. I do this for real.
You did it, and you made it through the Nipsey Hussle, though.
Marv, that was
the
most out of body experience I think I've ever had. I walked on that stage, and what you have to understand is the last time I'd seen Nipsey is when we were getting on stage together. So as soon as I walked up those steps and he's there in a coffin.
Yeah, it's just different.
At the fair distance that we would have been as we're performing real big, and it hit me.
Yeah.
There's not a Beyonce in the crowd. There's not a familiar face in the Staples Center that could have acknowledged my pain and gone, just sing. It's okay. I don't know what I did, how I did it, and how I got through that day. And
I spoke you through that day, though. Remember, we spoke, and I just said, you know what? There's things that are bigger than us, and sometimes to be asked by his sister. It was his sister, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
Karen Sybil hit me.
And to ask you something like that, I said, that's an honor. It's a difficult honor, but it's an honor.
I told them, I said, look, I will honor that request, because it's magnificent that even in life you'd anticipate something like this happening to you and that be one of your wishes. So I have to honor it, you know.
You had to. And I said to you, you got no choice.
I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'll get a word out. And when I seen his mother dancing joyfully, was done. Like next level done. Didn't sing at Nana's funeral. I remember us getting through the first verse of Amazing Grace, and everyone was trash after that. And trash. There wasn't one hymn after that point. I just remember verse 1 of Amazing Grace. I don't even know what else we did. I can't even sing.
I said I got to the zing bit, and after the zing, it was the z. It was done. I just had a tissue.
Yeah. And
oh my God.
It's incredible.
Life is one of those things where
life is incredible. It's just incredible. It's incredibly heartbreaking and magnificent and wondrous, and we're amongst wouldn't even call it a small community. we're amongst this community that are able to share extraordinary experience in life. Because it might not be supernatural, it might actually be normal, but we're just able to tap in to this other thing that we're allowed to experience, or we're allowing ourselves in some way to experience. And I feel like each time we've tried to push it away or been fearful of it, there's always a man in blue flames, or there's always an Auntie Beryl to grip my arm on a flight. And I'm like, there's something else. This isn't just this part. And
you did sound like Prince when you said that, by the way.
But there's something else.
Something else. You pretty much just exactly how we said
a world of love
and happiness. You can always see the sun, day and night. Yeah. I was about to go into the other thing, but it's cool.
I know, and I was like this.
Yeah, I know. Like, you have to get happy. Like, that's the best intro ever. Best intro ever.
Well, have I heard that Prince passed away when I was on the tour bus, pregnant with Nine-Eye, and had to perform at the friggin' Fox Theatre in Atlanta, and he was there just two weeks before that, like on his piano tour. Like, there's been so many things, like many things.
But signs though, like there's things that we'll get into those on further episodes. But I just want to say before we wrap this one up, like, coming into this episode today, it's so strange. I was really excited in a hype way to be like, man in blue flames. I was kind of jazz hands with it.
Yeah.
It completely didn't go into the jazz hands way. It went completely
I'm exhausted.
other direction.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I feel tearful. I've had a tear in this eye like the whole time.
Just let it drop. Me too.
No, but I've been going like this low key, like just wipe it off, man.
Back. Just
push it back, man. Push it back, man. And like, I wasn't expecting this, but thank you so much, Marsh, man, like for allowing me to be able to say something without saying it and feel safe not saying it. That's the best. Thank you. Like, honestly.
You're welcome, bro.
Because that's just like, there's no words. That's the only thing I can say. I felt like I summed it up pretty well then. I'm not gonna lie.
That Marv,
but
whatever this twin thing is, I get you.
I
get it, and it is reciprocated. I feel exactly the same way, because there's so much things that we haven't said to each other and just known.
Yeah,
I love you too. I love you too, bro.
And we're gonna wrap this up, guys. But please subscribe to Ghosts of Our Past UK. Tell your friends, share. You can join us on Anchor. You can join us on Spotify. And just watch the visual. I think it's really important to watch the visual as well, just to see the reaction of like
in real time
exactly what's happening to us as we're doing this. But please, again, share your stories. Email us at ghostofourpast@gmail.com.
ghostofourpastuk at
UK, ghostofourpast.com. Please email us, because we've already had an overwhelming amount of stories where we are going to have a lot of guests on here. We're going to have in a couple of weeks. So thank you, and we shall see you soon. Stay safe and stay happy.
Goop goop. Oh, I'm gonna call you back.
Marsh.
I'm gonna call you back.